Welcome to Clear Play, powered by Typico Sportsbook. I'm your host, Tony Anderson, and joining me is senior writer of Bet for the Win, Prince J. Grimes. Prince, we have our contestants for the NBA Finals. The Warriors are sitting at home waiting on the winners of the Celtics Heat. The Celtics squeaked out a win in Game 7 against the Heat. Now, looking at the championship matchup, the Warriors have 123 games of experience in the finals on their current roster. The Celtics have 0. So talk to me about these two teams. How do you feel the Celtics stack up against the Warriors in the finals?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good matchup, Tony. I think that no team is going into this series looking at their roster worried about how they match up. I think that's why that stat about the experience in this game is probably the biggest thing that stands out to me is why, one team might have an advantage over the other because, when you just look at the individual matchups, Stephen Curry is obviously going to be the biggest person that the Celtics need to key in on. Well, who better to have than the defensive player of the year who also plays on the perimeter, the same position as Steph? Marcus Smart is up for it. He's going to be a guy who can chase Stephen Curry around. Not going to say he can stop Steph, but, if there's anyone in the league who you want to have in that spot to defend him, he's the guy. You look at Klay Thompson, just specifically the starting lineup, right? Klay Thompson and Jaylen Brown, that's a good matchup. The Celtics like their matchup just as much as the Warriors might. But then you got that experience thing again. Wiggins, Jason Tatum. Andrew Wiggins is not on the same level as Jason Tatum as a scorer, and maybe not even as a defender, but he's a guy he's got length. He can slow him down a little bit. They'll obviously use some team help there to help him out. And then you talk about the two bigs with Draymond Green and Kevon Looney, and then you got Robert Williams and Al Horford on the other side. Those guys are going to bang. They're going to fight for rebounds. Draymond does a little inside-out thing where he kind of conducts the Warriors' offense, but Al Horford is a good defender, And on the other side, Al Horford can score, but Draymond isn't going to make that easy on him. So we'll see what the exact matchups are, but those are the starting fives probably, unless the Celtics decide to get Grant Williams in there and go a little smaller. And I think these teams match up very, very well. At the end of the day, I think that finals experience is really what's going to play out here.
All right. Now, Prince, people kept talking about death lineup. I wasn't a believer in it. I thought the Suns were going to take it all away, but they've proven me wrong. I do believe the X factor in all of this is going to be Jordan Poole. People don't really talk about him as much as they should, right? He's the third Splash brother. And I feel like he's going to come in and dominate. Who do you feel is going to be that guy for the Warriors?
I agree with you. I think Jordan Poole, I think they need him to come in and dominate if they expect to win this series. I think he's kind of the guy that's got to tilt the series for them.
So, Prince, we got a chance to hear your matchups, and I'm going to put you on a hot seat. Who do you think is going to win this series and in which game?
Yeah, I think I was kind of hinting which way I was going there. I am picking the Warriors in 6 games. I think that, they've been crazy good at home, right? 9-0 in these playoffs at home. I think that's going to play into it. If you look at going into Game 5, the Warriors will have played 3 home games by then. And so I do think the Celtics can probably get one of those 3, give the Warriors their first home loss in these playoffs. But that means the Warriors have 2 wins. I think they'll get at least 1 in Boston by then. And so going into Game 6, I think the Celtics will have 3 wins. I mean, the Warriors will have 3 wins. And I don't think they're going to play around with the Celtics. They're going to end it in 6.
I am going to copy and paste your answer. What is that? Control-C, Control-V. Copy and paste Warriors in 6. This is the Warriors' 6th finals appearance in 8 years. I mean, this is almost like the Patriots' domination in the NBA. We don't talk about that enough. And I think that the Warriors losing 3-1 to the Cavs back in that finals, I think that they know they can't mess around. So I'm going with the Warriors in 6 as well. All right, now, Prince, you and I are going to work together. We're going to collaborate and make this SGP, this single game parlay. Starting with the winner of Game 1, I like the Warriors to cover at 3.5. So that's what I'm starting with. How say you? Yay, nay?
No, I like that. The Warriors have been dominant at home. They're outscoring their opponents by double digits at home. And, I think they're undefeated in their last 4 games against the spread at home. So I like them to keep that up.
Okay, we got one.
All right, let me toss one by you. I think the game will go under the total. I think 211.5 is the number right now. We're talking about 2 of the best defensive teams in the NBA. They had the 2 best defensive efficiencies in the regular season, so I think they keep the score low. The Celtics come out a little nervous. They don't shoot the ball well, and the game falls under the total.
I agree. Defense wins championships, and that's where I'm going as well. All right, so Prince, we have two. Now, my X factor in this series, it's not Clay, it's not Steph, it's actually Jordan Poole. Typical has him listed at 15.5. I am taking the over. I feel like he's going to be in a 20-point range, and that is what's going to take for the Dubs to get the win. Where you go?
I'm not mad at that. I think Jordan Poole has a good chance to hit that over. Can I throw a name by you?
Sure.
Klay Thompson, I like his over, 20.5 points. It's a high number. He borders that in these playoffs, but this guy has been fighting to get back here. And after 2 years, he's back in the finals, and I think he's going to come out on fire.
I like that. My issue is Marcus Smart is going to try and slow down Steph, and I feel like Tatum is going to try to slow down Clay. So I feel like the path of least resistance is going to be Jordan Poole. But I would defer to you. Who do you like more with that over-under? Jordan Poole or Clay?
You know what? Let's go with the lower number there, Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole. Okay, I got that. So those are our three-player parlay. You know what? Let's pick one more just for ish and giggles. Okay. I'm going to take Kevon Looney over 9.5 rebounds. I think he's going to be a rebounding machine, and I believe he gets at least 10.
I love that you said that because I had that written down too. Kevon Looney over 9.5 rebounds, lock it in. He's hit that over in 4 of his last 6 games, I believe. He's a hit or miss guy. He'll either get you 15 or 5, but I think the flow of this game lends itself to him going over.
All right, so when you add it up, these are our odds. Kevon Looney, please don't mess up our parlay. Thank you so much, Prince. And remember, go to Tipico and lock in your NBA bets right now. Hey sports fans, if you want to learn more about sports betting, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget, for tips and analysis, make sure you go to betforthewin.com.